Anyway, we've got Mike in Nashville. How you doing?
Hey, how are you?
Good.
All right, well, I believe in God, and I think that I can logically and philosophically deduce that it is probable that he exists.
Can you define God?
Yes. First, he must have no creator. Or not, I shouldn't say he. It must have no creator.
Okay.
It must be logical. It must have a form to it, or a logical aspect about it. And I believe that it is supernaturally spiritual.
Okay, I'm confused. I do want to let you get to whatever proof it is, but I'm confused because you haven't said, when you say it's logical, are you saying that this God is actually intelligent as like an agent?
Well, I believe that it has a design, a structure, that it's not chaotic or random. That's what I'm trying to say.
Okay, but, well, apart from the supernatural thing, it doesn't have a creator, and it is logical and non-chaotic. So how is that a definition of a God?
Well, that's my definition that I'm using.
Well, okay, I could define God is a metallic container that holds my coffee, but that does us no good.
But that is not supernatural, and it has a creator.
Okay, well, sure. Because I gave a different definition than you. But I'm wondering. Okay, go ahead with your proof for what use is this God?
Yeah.
Well,
you have X.
I call myself a pantheist.
Okay, but you've defined God as something that's not created, that is logical and is supernatural.
Yes.
Okay. Does that? I don't know that gives me any information, sufficient information to justify the definition. The reason we use words is in order to communicate ideas. So, God normally carries with it the idea that this is some sort of intelligent agent. Are you saying that God may not be an intelligent agent by your definition?
Yes, I'm saying
it
doesn't necessarily have to be a persona.
What difference does it make if you could demonstrate that this thing existed? I mean, you're defining God in a way that, yes, it's different from me defining my coffee cup into existence, but you've picked a particular definition that's useless.
I wouldn't call it useless.
Okay, so what use does it have?
I mean, it demonstrates that things are not random, that there is a spirituality and an importance to things that happen in the universe, that there is underlying logic and morality.
How does your definition of God demonstrate any of those things?
Well, if okay, can you say that again? I'm sorry.
How does your definition of God demonstrate any of those things?
Well, if it has a logical form to it, and it has, in the universe, if the universe has order and structure, it means that the things that we go through are not random events. If this universe was put together randomly, if there was no God.
But no. Nobody's saying that the universe was put together randomly if there was no God.
How could it have been any other way if there is no God? Or if there is no structure?
Do you know what random means? There is a structure in the universe.
So you believe that there is structure to the universe. Where does that structure come from?
It's intrinsic.
Yeah.
It is the physical laws.
Well, that's what I would use to say that makes this universe God.
Why?
So
why call it God?
So you're calling the universe God?
As a
I stated earlier that I
know
have to classify myself as pantheist.
You're a pantheist. So why call the universe God?
Because I feel that.
Why can't we just call it universe?
Yeah,
what does
that's
God
what I call it.
add to it? What is God? What?
You're right. You could call it any label you wanted to.
Okay, so what additional understanding do we gain by labeling it God? And by the way, please demonstrate that the universe is in any way supernatural. That part of your definition is just kind of hanging out there somewhere.
Yeah. Well, for one, it has no creator. There's nobody that created it.
What's that have to do with being supernatural?
And also, if you look at things like, and you'll probably scoff at this, but things like art, things like music.
Those have creators.
Yes, they are. I'm not saying, obviously I know Mozart created music, but I feel strongly that art is an example of spiritualness.
So that's the best argument I've ever heard. I feel strongly that. That's not an argument.
Okay.
I feel strongly that there's a God. I feel strongly that my big toe is prettier than somebody else's big toe. That's not an argument.
Okay. I think that art and beauty is one reason to believe.
Okay, so now you've gone from I feel strongly that to I think that. What's the argument? Not just the claim. I know you think that. What's the argument?
That is an example of, you asked me an example of something supernatural or spiritual, and I'm giving you one.
But those aren't supernatural. And in fact, I mean, you're citing purely subjective experiences as some kind of justification for claiming that the universe is God? I mean,
you've defined the universe as God. You then assert that it is therefore supernatural. And when asked to provide a justification for this, you go from I feel that it's supernatural to I think that it's supernatural. And I'm still asking why. I know what you think. I knew that as soon as you said pantheist.
Yeah. I mean, beauty, I think. Beauty is one reason to believe that the universe is supernatural.
Why?
The fact that there is such a thing as beauty
within
our universe.
Why?
Why what?
Why is the existence of beauty evidence of something being supernatural? You have to construct an actual argument that leads from some premise upon which we agree, to the conclusion that because this exists, therefore. You haven't done anything remotely like that. What you're doing, I'll tell you, because you're not able to actually form it into anything approaching an argument, but you're using a logical fallacy known as the argument from ignorance. Or at worst, at best, the Dawkins reformation, the argument from personal incredulity. You see beauty in the world. You do not think that beauty could exist without there being some supernatural cause. Therefore, there must be a supernatural cause. Well, congratulations. Your ignorance about what other causes there might be is completely irrelevant. It is no valid argument for you to claim that beauty is necessarily the result of supernatural causes.
Do you think that this universe could have that something like beauty or emotions could be randomly given to our universe, that it just happened?
No, they're not random. Evolution has selected a lot of these.
I believe in evolution, but I'm saying, how could things like art, beauty, what we think is beauty, how could we even begin to think that things are beautiful? I mean, that seems like a whole different realm than, gaining arms and legs.
No, it's not.
No, it isn't.
It's not. If I stick you with a pen, that causes pain. If I give you a massage, that's pleasure. Do you think that has to have a supernatural cause?
No.
Okay, then why would you think that my visual appreciation of something as attractive versus my visual rejection of something as unattractive must have a supernatural cause?
Well, it's more than just visual. I mean, it's emotional and oral.
Okay,
I mean,
it's still a brain state. What is so different about appreciating something as being visually appealing versus being visually unappealing? What about those brain states requires supernatural intervention?